My name is Josh, and I am a food addict. In 2007, I was featured on the A&E show Intervention for an eating disorder. At the time, I weighed 547 pounds, and I lost over 260 pounds in the span of a little over a year. I did a follow-up episode about 6 months after I went to Florida for treatment, and at that time I came back and surprised my family. They had no idea that I was coming back. I was then asked to be a guest on the Oprah Winfrey Show, which was one of the coolest experiences of my life. It wasn't long after the Oprah show that I lost my job, and I was forced to move back home to Texas, where my family lives. And once I moved back, I definitely had a hard time. When I got back to Texas, I got into a relationship rather quickly, and it was my first real relationship. It wasn't the healthiest relationship, and it only lasted 6 months, but in that 6-month period, I gained 100 pounds. When the relationship ended, I continued to gain weight, and before I knew it, I was back almost to the same weight that I had been prior to the intervention. After a couple of years, I got into another relationship, and at that time I decided to get healthy again, and I started going to the gym, exercising on a regular basis, and before long I had lost the weight again. Now, both times that I lost weight, I got down to around the 300-pound mark. When I did the Oprah show, I weighed 288, and that was the lightest weight that I can recall being as an adult. When I lost weight the second time, I was around 300 pounds. I fluctuated between 300 and 320 pounds. And you know, it's so interesting to me because at that time, I still felt like I was, the big guy. Yeah, I could do more, and I was able to do things that I had not been able to before, but I still had this mentality that I'm the big guy. So when I would walk into a room, I would assume that people were looking at me or staring at me, even though at that point they weren't. And the ironic part is that now that I've gained the weight back again, my mind thinks the opposite. I think that I'm smaller than I am. So when I look back at footage of myself, I'm just like shocked at how big I've gotten. And I am now truly the heaviest that I have ever been. Last year, I decided that I was going to get a weight loss surgery. And I went through the entire process of getting the insurance approval and all of the stipulations that are required for the insurance, which in my case included multiple sleep studies. I had to go to a cardiologist, and I had to meet with a dietitian. So I did all of those things, and at the last minute, I decided not to go forward with the surgery. And it's not because I don't believe that the surgery works, because I do think that it is a very, very powerful tool that has helped a lot of people. But for me, I did not feel that I was in the right mindset to proceed with the surgery, and I didn't want to risk hurting myself if I didn't follow the parameters of the diet that was needed following the surgery. So I decided to hold off, and at this point I want to pursue losing weight again in a natural way, and this time really focus on what's driving the eating. And at this point, I don't really know what it is. I thought that I had done the emotional work before, but clearly it's not the losing the weight that's hard for me, it's the keeping it off. So I've decided to start this video journey where I can document my weight loss. My goal for this project is to not only lose weight, but to have fun doing it, to explore the ins and outs of food addiction. I know that there are shows like My 600-Pound Life, and I know that it has been documented what it's like to live with an eating disorder. For me, my purpose in doing this video blog series is to not just lose weight. Yes, that's ultimately the goal, but it's more than just that. It's to explore what it's like to live with an eating addiction. For those who don't live with an eating addiction, I want them to understand and maybe provide a glimpse into what it is like, so that maybe instead of judging a person who's overweight, you can look at them and understand that behind that, there's a lot of pain and a lot of suffering, and not all big people are lazy. slobs or, disgusting. But that's kind of the approach that our society has labeled those people with, and I have experienced it on an almost daily basis, even just going out into public. Just the judgment that I get from people because they don't understand what it's like. And if I can provide even just a little glimpse into what it's like to live with an eating addiction, then I would like to be able to do that. So I'm starting off this journey now. I just weighed in. I bought a scale so that I can keep track of my weight. I'm not going to weigh on a daily basis or maybe even a weekly basis, because to me, not only is the success measured in the number on the scale, but more importantly, it's the non-scale victories. Things like being able to go down a pant size, or eventually I'll be able to wear a seatbelt without using a seatbelt extender, things like that. But yes, I do want to track the weight as well, but I want to avoid getting into the mindset of weighing myself on a daily basis. When I lost weight the first time, it became almost an obsessive thing for me, and I weighed in multiple times a day. I'd weigh in the morning, I'd weigh after I ate, before I ate, after I went to the bathroom, before I went to the bathroom. It was ridiculous. And a person's body weight fluctuates during the day, so even a normal, quote-unquote normal weight person may fluctuate a pound or 2 or 3 throughout the day. Someone my size could even fluctuate 4 or 5 or 6 pounds a day, or more even. So by weighing every day, it became an obsession, and my mood would be dependent on what the number on the scale was. So I want to avoid that this time around, and so therefore I am going to put myself on a strict weigh-in schedule of no more than once a week. Probably more like once every other week, or maybe even once a month. We'll see. I'm also going to take measurements of my waist, my arms, my neck, my thighs, and we'll see what the measurements show. Hopefully I'll see some progress pretty quickly. Since I weighed in 4 months ago at the cardiologist, I have lost 15 pounds. When I weighed in this time, I weighed 595 pounds. So that's where we're at right now. I'm under the 600-pound mark, barely, but I'll take it. And at this point, what I'm doing as far as a diet is concerned is I've just started making minimal changes for now. I've cut out soda for the most part. I do drink diet soda occasionally, but for the most part, I've been drinking unsweet tea or water. So that alone has really been the only change, the biggest change that I've made as far as my diet is concerned. And so obviously it seems to be working because I have lost some weight. But I'm going to start increasing the physical activity. I'm going to start by walking around the neighborhood just to kind of get some movement going on, because right now I get very winded very quickly, and I want to start improving my stamina so that I can walk for a longer distance and not get quite as tired. So that's what I'm starting with. So join me on this journey. I'm glad to be here. I am excited for what the future holds, and I really hope that in this journey I can meet other people who are going through the same thing, and we can do this together. I invite you to subscribe to my channel below, and I will be posting videos. My goal at first is to post 1 video a week, but eventually if I get into the flow of things and kind of figure out the editing and the timing of everything, I'm hoping that I can get to a point where I'm producing 2 to 3 videos a week. So please subscribe and follow along as I go on this journey. I appreciate you watching, and I will see you next time.